Welcome to Wagertalk TV. I'm Kelly Stewart, at Kelly in Vegas on Twitter, joined by Tony Finn, at Finn at Wagertalk. Make sure you guys are giving him a follow for this baseball season. Going to have lots of good information out there for you guys. I know you have a ton of info you're about to post up on Wagertalk with every single team, right?
Correct.
Oh my God, that seems very excessive, but I will be getting all my cheat sheets from you.
And we'll have plenty of complaints on it being too windy.
I just told Tony, we got to, he goes, I can talk on this subject for an hour, and I said, well, we don't have an hour. So we're going to talk about fantasy baseball.
Yeah.
Okay, I knew there was fantasy baseball, but fantasy football reigns supreme. Even fantasy basketball, I hear a lot of people do. But tell me why you like fantasy baseball as in terms of a betting perspective. You log on, you bet your fantasy baseball lineups every day, or are you talking season-wide?
Every day.
Every
There's
day.
different types of leagues, obviously, but the correlation, I think, is important. And as I spoke to you off air before this video, I've never met someone who, once they got involved in fantasy baseball, and largely depending on how much time they invest into their studies, that it didn't improve them as a nightly gamer, as a gambler, as an investor, however you want to term that.
That's great.
Yeah, and it depends, again, on how much you invest. And for the most part, baseball takes a certain kind of focus if you want to be successful, because every inning, every night, something happens. Something happens, whether it be luck or bad luck, good luck, injuries and such. And fantasy baseball, especially daily leagues, as you mentioned, force you to keep up. For me, before I go into a draft, for instance, I mean, I've already assessed every team, and where the fantasy analytics come in. If you use those analytics, and first off, let me say, they're available out there. You don't really have to do a ton of work. You can.
Do you have any specifics that you could recommend?
I won't do that unless someone's going to pay me to say that.
Oh, okay.
You know.
I'm not mad at you for it. Okay.
4 kids, 3 in college. I need a little money. Anything I can get extra. But long story short on that one is they're not that expensive.
Right.
And
so Google search.
Yes.
Okay, looking for fantasy baseball analytics and
I'll
whoever's
name
on the
one,
top. Okay.
Anthony Perry, Fantastics. They do a terrific job, and they make it really uncomplicated. They give you the charts, they give you all the information. You don't have to do any work hardly at all other than read, study, and understand the terms. And the metrics guys, the Sabre guys, they really make it look complicated. It's really not complicated once you dig into it. All those terms, the WAR, WR, the X, the weighted OBA, all those things are fairly simple, and they've done the work for you. All you have to do is read. And to make this video not, like I said, an hour long, we'll use that XW OBA, which is applied to both hitters and to pitchers. And
that's primarily what you use to set your daily lineups or your season lineups?
No, it has to do with everything, but for the most part, what I use, in my term, I sit a little bit early, and there'll be pitchers who have overperformed and those who have underperformed, and there's reasons why, according to history and maybe their career numbers. You'll find guys like, we talked about in the last video, Brian talked about the Dodgers. Ross Stripling, for instance. Here's a guy who had the largest weighted OBA as to expected weighted OBA, almost 50 points. He ranked in there as far as getting weak contact, a 3.66 ERA, I believe, a guy who struck out over 120 batters, I think, in 106 innings of work. He is a guy that a lot of people never heard of.
Never heard of him.
Right,
when you have a Kershaw, why would you know who he is?
When you have a Kershaw and a young guy like Walter Buehler, those guys, he ranked with DeGrom. He ranked with...
So you would consider him to maybe be a value player?
Absolutely. When it comes to...
And that's what you're looking for the most is value?
Using the fantasy analytics and using baseball analytics, not just fantasy analytics, and you get plus money dogs. Really, where people shy away from baseball.
That's my favorite thing. You know that, right? You hit the nail right on the head. Plus money dogs.
Plus money dogs. Why people don't bet baseball or hate betting baseball is...
I don't want to lay the juice.
Do
you know how bad laying 3 to 1 is and they lose outright? That makes you just a little gun shy next to the next day.
It means you got to win 4 or 5 in a row just to get even.
It's terrible. Okay, so give everybody, we'll wrap this video up, give everybody a couple of just simple tips for betting fantasy, or I'm sorry, for playing fantasy baseball. I guess we can't call it betting fantasy baseball.
involve yourself in fantasy baseball. Just involve yourself, do your draft research, then you almost already have a nice assessment of teams, key players, the war we discussed earlier. Does a team have a cleanup hitter that doesn't have, if he's at a lineup, do they have somebody that's got a replacement value that's close, where they're still going to be able to carry their weight and compete at the level that they're expected to? Plus money dogs, always. Stay away from the public teams. I mean, the public teams, the Red Sox, the Yankees,
the public perception,
the Dodgers.
It's already built into the line.
It's built in the line, and it's shaded.
And you mean by stay away, you mean stay away from betting, or
well,
you even mean stay away from just those games?
Obviously, they win games.
Right.
But over the long haul, you're getting zero value.
Right, but so it might be better just to stay away from those games in general.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
And that's my suggestion.
All right, great stuff from Tony. WagerTalk Text Club, it's 100% free. Just text WagerTalk to 33222 to get a $10 coupon for signing up, plus free picks and other special offers.